Hey, I'm James, and welcome to Epic Life Creative. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about the biggest trend that your church is not doing in church marketing. I want to talk about influencer marketing. Church influencer marketing is not really a thing right now, and I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why. This is hugely successful for businesses around the world. This is wildly successful for growth marketing and growth hacking, and it has the potential to be, in my opinion, the greatest digital evangelism tool available. The most effective and the most authentic digital evangelism tool available. And so right now you may be thinking influencer marketing, you mean like the Kardashians or whatever. And I get that a lot. I get a lot of objections to this. And so I want to start off a whole series on church influencer marketing by dealing with and addressing common objections to this. But I have to preface this. I have to start off by saying it doesn't matter how many objections I squash until you start to see the possibility of it and the use case and how it can affect your church or your ministry or your nonprofit. And so I'm going to come to that in the next video and maybe even a little bit in this one. But right now, let's talk about some of the objections that you probably have right now. And you're thinking right off the bat, James, I'm not going to do this. So objection number one, and this may not even be your first objection, but it should be because it's something that the business world is wrestling with, and that is authenticity. Because if influencer marketing is not authentic, it doesn't work. In fact, it has the opposite effect of hurting your brand and hurting your message. So for your church to advertise their Easter service with Kim Kardashian or some famous teenager or something like that, it's going to come across as inauthentic. And that's a valid concern. Authenticity should be first and foremost in your mind when you're doing influencer marketing. But authenticity is solved the same way for churches as it is for big brands by finding the right match. For your church, the key influencers aren't celebrities, athletes, politicians, or anything like that. For your church, an effective, authentic influencer would be church members. Those are the people who should be sharing your church anyways. Those are the people who week in and week out, you encourage them to encourage their friends and neighbors to come to your church. Influencer marketing is how they can do that. So authenticity should not be a problem for the church because you have people coming every Sunday who could be your influencers. So the other concern that I recently got is worrying about cult of personality or people coming just because of specific dynamic personality types. We see this fairly regularly with well-known musicians in the worship band or dynamic pastors who are just really popular and charismatic when they're speaking. And so someone will come just to hear the pastor rather than actually plug in and get connected to the church. And you should deal with that the exact same way that you would with a dynamic pastor. A lot of churches would love to have the problem of having a really dynamic pastor and having the opportunity to convert people who just came to hear that pastor to plugged in, connected, growing members. But that's not the only thing that you can do to prevent this from happening. The other opportunity is for you to have a bunch of influencers. So if you've got several people working on this, then someone coming isn't coming just because of one person. They're coming because of a crowd of people inviting them, kind of like the way the church is supposed to work. If someone that you know gets invited by multiple members of the church, odds are they're more likely to come. The other way to deal with this is, again, by using your church members. The average church member is not going to have 100,000 followers on Instagram. That's okay. You don't need 100,000 followers. You're not trying to reach the nation. You're trying to reach your town. You're trying to reach people 10 to 20 miles from your church. There may not even be 100,000 people in a 10 to 20 mile radius of your church. And even if there are, use 10 people with 1,000 followers rather than one person with 100,000. So don't worry about cult of personality. And if you find that is happening, then work on the funnel once you get them there on how to get them to become more authentic, more engaged, growing members. The other thing that people tend to worry about is cost. And I'm not going to lie to you, a rock solid influencer marketing campaign does have a high cost, but it is a cost of time investment, not financial investment. For churches, that's irrelevant because time is just as valuable as money. And many church staff, especially communications people, are short on time as it is. But I would argue that the return on investment of influencer marketing is so high that it is worth investing that time in doing right. And it is the type of campaign that has a lot of upfront time, and then after that can kind of level off after you establish it. It does take some time to establish. We offer a product for churches that can help them establish that. But you know what? Steal our idea. Do it. We're totally happy if more people get evangelized, if more people get involved in church, and more people are coming, and if more Christians are evangelizing in all aspects of their life, not just in person, but online. And so that's the goal here. If you want to steal our idea, be our guest. In fact, if you want to steal our idea and do it better, great. I'm ready to learn from you. But if you are a part of a church and you're interested in starting an influencer marketing program, influencer marketing campaign, or as we call it, a digital evangelism campaign, let us know. Get a hold of us and we'll be happy to help you set that up. We have a product that we just launched and I'm really excited about it, mostly because I helped make it, but also because I genuinely believe that this is a big mission field opportunity for churches. I believe that this has the potential to be the biggest online evangelism tool available to churches right now. Now, social media, I think, is great for community building and discipleship. I don't think that social media by itself is that good at evangelism. Your website and SEO can be good tools for evangelism, but you need to be careful about taking them from the website and getting them from viewing it on their phones at home into the pews. And that's a challenge. And that's a challenge that a lot of churches aren't quite up to the task of. Influencer marketing kind of takes the in-between steps and shrinks them down just a little bit. So if you have questions about influencer marketing, let us know. Get a hold of us, email us, call us, whatever. We're happy to help. And we'll see you next week with phase 2 of the top ways that your church can get started in influencer marketing. We'll see you next week.